game. Blouses.
Galanchuk.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
And welcome into another edition of the Postgame Pints podcast. My name's Mitch Gallo with Sean Campbell. Sean, it's been a while by our standards, but we're back, just like we said we'd be back, and ready to talk a lot about the Montreal Canadiens and other things going on in the world of sports.
Oh, yeah, we got lots to get to today on this edition of the Postgame Pints podcast, brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery, 133 LaBrosse in Point Claire, LaBrosse.com. You better start hurrying up, because last time I went by, the stock of the Campbell Play-by-Play IPA was getting pretty low. I'm just letting you know, okay? Like, it was getting pretty low. My buddy also sent me a picture. He saw the Campbell Play-by-Play out at your local IGA. I mean, you can get this stuff anywhere. The Angry Gallo Ale, if you want that little kick in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. Oh, yeah, I had one the other day. It was outstanding. Plus, they keep putting out the Lab series. I think they're up to number 9. It is absolutely outstanding. They have the orange, the coconut, the chocolate. I mean, they have the banana split beer. Like, whatever you can even imagine, the group at LaBrosse are putting it together. But check it out at LaBrosse.com and 133 LaBrosse in Point Claire. That's where you can pick it up. And Mitch, people are still taste testing our beers. We're getting tweets and Instagrams all the time about the Campbell versus Gallo. As it says on the can. Look how good that is. Campbell versus Gallo. So good. So good.
I want to make sure that people keep tagging us and sending us the pictures of them enjoying our beers. It's maybe my favorite part of this is this whole thing, knowing that you're out there supporting us and supporting the project. So please keep it up. It's been awesome, everybody, and I love it. I love hearing from you guys.
Oh, by the way, I have to throw this out there, Mitch, because I know that because of COVID, we haven't been able to have our podcast launch party just yet, but we have plans. But I came up with an idea last night as I was laying in bed, head back. I haven't even told you the idea. I haven't told Dave the idea. I'm not going to say here, but I really like the idea. I have to tell you guys first before we tell the world about my idea. My mind was working, and I stayed up like an extra 2 hours.
I'm looking forward to hearing it, because your ideas go either one of two ways. They're amazing or they're absolutely brutal, and there's no in between. You've never had an idea that's like, it's always been on one side or the other.
Oh, by the way, I know for a fact you're gonna love this idea. I know for a fact Alex from LaBrosse is gonna love this idea too.
Nice.
And I already know that Dave's smiling. All right, let's get into the rapid fire right away. Mitch, we're pretty much at the halfway mark for the Montreal Canadiens, but the trade deadline is coming up. Should they target somebody? We heard from Marc Bergevin. He said, there's no cap room, can't do anything. But if they were to target anybody, what should they target? For defense? Can you give me some names, Mitch? I want you to name names.
All right. And I'll tell you this, because Bergevin is always telling the truth when he speaks to reporters. Right? I'm not trying to trade PK Subban, right? Come on. Where there's a will, there's a way. And if they want to add somebody, they can. And they'll find a way, even with the salary cap implications. A lot of teams, I think, are in this position where it's money in, money out. But if you want to make a trade, you can. And I think the other teams in the division are going to make trades. I think Toronto's definitely going to add, and I think Winnipeg is more than likely to add as well. Toronto up front, Winnipeg on the blue line. And if you're Montreal, that means it's an arms race in your division because you think you're a playoff team. And then, hey, he said it, anything can happen when they make the playoffs. So I think they are going to add. I think they should add. I think they need to add Campbell. And I'm going to say the number one need for the Habs right now is experience at center. I know everybody's looking at the blue line. They're pretty good in their top four, especially when they're healthy. And in a playoff series, you could really reduce the minutes on your 5 and 6 defensemen. Every team does it. But up front, if they have an injury to any of their centers, they're absolutely screwed. All right. And especially if it's Philip Danault. They have no experience at that position. They need to add. So I'm looking at a center with experience. I don't know what's possible. Eric Stahl, he has the no movement clause. Maybe he doesn't want to come to Canada. Maybe it's hard to sit him out for 7 to 14 days in quarantine when he's a player that's a little bit older. Trying to ramp him back up, that might be tough. But there's other guys out there. Can Corey Perry give a call to Ryan Getzlaf? I don't know. Mikael Granlund in Nashville. Nashville's going to be selling. That might be a nice piece to add down the middle. I know you like Eric Holla. You have
that's the name I was going to bring up because look, I love
center Campbell. I don't care who it is. Just give me a
Yeah.
center who has experience. Damn it.
But that's the thing, like with Eric Stahl and Ryan Getzlaf, those are sexy names, right? 2003 draft class, and these guys have been around forever, and we know that they put up big numbers, and maybe they could do what Kovalchuk and Perry have done with the Canadians with one little burst. And I get it; those names are sexy. Eric Holla's not sexy. Granlund's not sexy. But I think that they're not going to go with a sexy name. But I'm with you, Mitch. I told you from the beginning of the season, their weakest position was center. Their weakest position may not be center in a couple of years when Kotkaniemi and Suzuki become the players that they believe that they're going to be. And even if they are able to sign Philip Danault long-term, that's going to be a great core of center icemen. But there's so much inexperience. And you're right, one injury, not only to Danault, but to Suzuki or Kotkaniemi.
Any of them. Doesn't matter which one.
Anybody to fill. And they're still trying to figure out what's going on with Jake Evans. Jake Evans is good in his role, but you still need another body there. And I think before you look at the blue line, okay, so I'm going to agree with you on that. And I think it's going to be a no-name veteran center, okay, not a big name. It's going to be a no-name because you're going to get them for really cheap and you're going to be able to put it off because he already said that there's no cap space. You could do a no cap space move for a fourth line center. Hey, go for Nate Thompson might be a perfect guy. It's not the guy that you want. I get it. You've been there, done that. But here's the thing. On the blue line with Sherrod out, before going for Ekholm or David Savard or trying to bring in a body, try the guys you have. Try a Cale Fleury. Try an Xavier Ouellet. Try these guys. Or, that's why you got the depth of Joel Edmondson. Give Kulak that pairing with Petrie to see if it can last for 10, 15 games. And then when Sherrod comes back, everybody's better. Just 2 games in and trying to get a new guy just because Sherrod's out, I don't think that's a play. Try within your system. There is no one in your system at center. So I'm with you. That's the move. Is a center iceman.
All right. So let's play the look ahead game.
Sure.
Canadians don't get into the playoffs. Is Marc Bergevin's job in jeopardy?
I think it is. I don't think it's a fait accompli. I don't think it's like 100%. If they don't make the playoffs, he's out. But it does seem like that's the bar. Why? Because he has set it. Expectations high with the moves he made in the offseason. And then everything that he said just a couple of days ago, he said, I don't care. I don't have any moves, but these, like all his trade deadline moves, he's kind of made right now. Like he made in the offseason. He's kind of had the team that he thinks that can make the playoffs. And let's be honest, for the Canadians not to make the playoffs, that means that they weren't better than 3 teams. What was the motto of the season that I told you, Mitch? Be better than 3 teams. That's the only thing you have to do is be better than 3 teams. And if they don't make the playoffs, that means they were not better than 3 teams. That's it. And that roster should be better than 3 teams with goalies, with that defense, with the forwards that they were able to bring, coaching halfway through the season. So I think that it may be that line. You don't make the playoffs, he's gone. You make the playoffs, he's going to stay. And it may not be as cut and dry as you like, because I think that there is a little bit of flexibility. Like I don't see the situation where they make the playoffs and he's gone. but the only situations they don't make the playoffs, he's gone. That they don't make the playoffs and he's gone. But I can still see Jeff Molson just being patient. He's been so patient.
I don't see that, Campbell. I know he has been patient, but I look around the NHL. There's no GM seat hotter than Mark Bergevin. I think he has burn marks on his ass right now because it's heating up. You know, there's other jobs where we can see a change, and I look out in Vancouver. You know, they haven't met expectations either, but Bergevin is feeling it around the collar right now. Campbell, he spent $100 million in the offseason. He fired the head coach. He fired the goalie coach. If he does all those things and miss, he's going to be missing. He's going to be out. He's going to be out of a job.
I get that, but you bring in a new GM with everything that just happened. You can't let it breathe. I mean, what can you change if you come in? Those long-term contracts are there that he brought in. Those off-season signings that you spend the money. You're up against the cap.
It doesn't matter.
I understand that someone else.
It's shaking everything else up. It's letting the new guy.
Yeah, but my point is the new guy is going to be in a tough spot with what he has, and if he does turn it around, it'll be with what Marc Bergevin did.
Yeah, but I don't think that matters because the new guy will decide who the new coach is going to be. The new guy will try to revamp the drafting and development, which hasn't gone on as it should have in Montreal. The new guy will decide what to do with Danault, Tatar, and Armia. The new guy will decide Jesperi Kotkaniemi's next contract since his 3-year entry-level deal is up. The new guy will have flexibility, Sean. I realize that there's a lot of people.
But if they make the playoffs, there's no new guy. They make the playoffs, there's no new guy.
No. The goal is the playoffs. But if they miss in this season, after everything that he's done, he's gone. Sorry, he's gone.
I told you there should have been T-shirts. Be better than 3 teams. I would have worn that T-shirt. Be better than 3 teams. All right, Mitch. Let's go quickly around the North. Right now, all the talk is the Canadiens struggling, and they're going to be battling with all the other teams. But at the top of the division, Toronto or Winnipeg, who do you got?
I got Toronto. I think Toronto's better up front. I think Toronto's bottom 6 is better. I think Toronto's blue line is better. And I think Winnipeg is better in goal. The coaching I might give to Winnipeg just based on experience. But I think Sheldon Keefe has done a good job. I think we so often get caught up in the immediacy of results. So Toronto's lost 5 of 6. Winnipeg beat them 2 of 3. Everybody likes Winnipeg, doesn't like Toronto. 2 weeks ago, Toronto beats Edmonton 3 straight. They're atop the division, 8 points up. Everybody loves Toronto. We're always in the immediacy of what's happening. What's happened most recently. You know what I mean? But if I look at it, I say, okay, I'm going to put my hard-earned dollars on the line on one of the 2 teams. Am I picking Toronto or Winnipeg? I look at the 2 rosters, and if I'm going to try to get behind the bench of one of those teams, or if I'm managing one of those teams, which I have more confidence in, I'm going to go with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, look, I think people are underselling the Jets' blue line. I think the Jets' blue line is a lot better than people think. Josh Morrissey is a stud. So is Neil Pionk. These 2 guys are absolutely running the show down there. And
neither of those guys were as good as Morgan Riley.
No, but then when you go down the depth, it gets quite similar from Toronto. And I just think people dismiss their blue line so easily because they don't have Bufflin, they don't have Trouba, they don't have Sherrod, they don't have Myers. They lost all these guys who were in their top 4, but they had plans. In the Trouba deal, they got Pionk. No one knew who this guy was until he arrived at Winnipeg, and now he's just under a point per game on the blue line. And he's not even on, and you're like, oh, well, he's not even on that number 1 power play unit. It's Morrissey. Morrissey has just turned into exactly who they thought he was, who was sitting as a 5-6. And then he jumped into that top role, and he was ready for it. I'm not saying that they are better than Toronto. I'm just saying that on the blue line, I'm just saying that everybody throws them down to saying that they have the worst D in the division, and I don't think it's the case whatsoever. You're right.
They don't have the worst D in the division. Ottawa does.
Okay, but it's also a lot better than people think. Their goaltending is elite, and you know that it's elite. Their top 6, elite top 6 with a lethal power play. And their third line is one of the best producing third lines in the National Hockey League. You have guys like Andrew Kopp and Adam Lowry with 15 points already on the season. The Canadians would dream of that from their third line, and they don't have anything close to that. So I think, it's easy to say Toronto because of the Marner and the Matthews. And when Winnipeg shows that they have Toronto's number, I might give the edge to Winnipeg. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to give the edge to Winnipeg.
You give the edge to Winnipeg. Maybe we have to come up with some bet at some point for the podcast because I think Toronto's by far better.
By the way, I've been loving, and I know that they didn't have a great week and they're going to have a week off, but the way that Toronto and you mentioned Sheldon Keefe, I like the way he coaches. I like the system that he's put in. His star players are committed and they're working. This is not me pumping up Winnipeg and disparaging Toronto. I think Toronto's really good.
I'm not talking bad about Winnipeg either.
No, but that's it. So
You're asking me which of the two is better. There can only be one team that's better than the other.
Yeah, and my breaking point is, where I stand. I think Hellebuyck is that much better than Anderson. And if I have to choose,
I never put that much stock into that position.
Yeah, until you need a save.
Until you need a save, sure. Well,
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if they get it.
Only time's going to tell. I'll get that save from Hellebuyck, and you may not get that from Anderson.
Well, if they don't get that from Anderson, Anderson is as good as gone as Bergevin. And
sure.
It's the same comparison.
And then it's just another year of them trying to figure it out. It's just another year of them trying to figure it out. Wow. Yeah, I know, but what are they going to do? What are they going to do with goal? I just think they need a little bit more from their goalie more often.
Teams figure it out.
Jack Campbell, okay.
If Jack Campbell has been healthy, Jack Campbell would have provided some relief and some rest to that position. He's not a starter, but they'll figure something else out.
Yeah, but that's not an answer.
How many goalies moved in the offseason?
That's not an answer. They'll figure something out.
How many goalies moved?
I don't care about next season for them. I'm talking about this season. They have Anderson, and he's been a problem.
Give him the chance to make that save.
Yeah, but he's been a problem to make that save year in and year out when they need it. He's not an awful goalie. It's just when push comes to shove, he falls over. That's all I'm saying.
When push comes to shove, Hellebuyck's lost too. I don't see any rings on his finger either.
Yeah, but it's not usually because of a crappy goal with 10 minutes left in the third period.
I don't know. You put way too much of that on Anderson.
I'll take Hellebuyck 1,000 times over Anderson in a do-or-die situation, which both teams might be in, and I can't wait for them. I can't wait for them to be in the. Yeah, but that's I take him over
Anderson too. That doesn't mean Anderson can't make a save.
My point being is that's why I'll take the Jets to go further than the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's all.
I think it's a silly reason. Goalie position.
All right. Last one on the rapid fire, because I got to get, I kind of, this is going to weed into what I want to do next here on the Post Game Pines podcast, Mitch, is the merge or collaboration of the XFL, CFL. The first time you heard this, I just got to know what you thought of it.
I thought The Rock is going to start playing football again.
Nice. I like it. Okay. That was your first.
I thought they might bring back that rule where the ball is put at midfield and a player from each end zone has to start the kickoff running start to try to get that ball.
Yeah, the runoff or whatever. It wasn't a kickoff.
I don't remember what it was called.
Do you remember what happened on the first time?
Yeah, someone broke their neck.
Yeah, and then broke his leg, I think. Oh, he broke leg. I don't think it was neck. I don't think it was leg. I think somebody broke a part of their body though.
And then I thought of Vince McMahon saying, "This is the CFL."
That would be great. That would be great. Okay, so on top of that, and I'm all for whatever ideas they come up with. By the way, Mitch, you and I both love the CFL. We do. We both cover it. We like it. We know that there's flaws in it, and we both know that it doesn't have much money and it's struggling to survive in a pandemic world. So whatever ideas they get, I don't care about the ideas. I want to know what kind of money they're going to get so they can survive. I'm in for the plan that the CFL is going to survive. And if it includes The Rock coming out of retirement and playing in the CFL for a game just to get people to watch or to sell jerseys, I'm in. We know that's not going to happen, but I'm in. Okay, I'm in for that. There's a reason why in the CFL, Jim Pop always brought these guys with names just to sell stuff, right? Even though they can never play in the league, it didn't matter because he knew that he had to sell. It's a gimmick. There are parts of that. And the XFL and CFL, I don't know if it's merging. They have their own leagues. Maybe there's a championship game at the end where they have to, they have, like, how cool would it be if they each have their league and they say, hey, in the offseason, we're going to have not a Super Bowl. They'll call it the whatever bowl, the Grey Cup. Okay. Or maybe it's another thing. Okay. Just so they can promote it. And then there's a negotiation table that you're going to televise, and they negotiate. You get to pick one rule, and then you get to pick one rule. You get to keep. Oh, we're choosing 3 downs. Okay, well, we're choosing 11 players. Okay, like I'm in for that. I'm in for any idiotic idea that they come up with. So that being said, Mitch, before I get into the next segment, I kind of came up with an idea of merging other sports, and I want to know what you think. Some of them aren't great. Some of them I think you're going to like. All right. I know that you're going to like it, kind of like Wolfpacks, wolfpacks.ca. Check it out at their website. It's subscription based. You get little packages for your puppies. And if you have a dog and you're listening to this podcast right now, support Wolfpacks. You're supporting us. They support us. We support you. They'll support your puppy, like Vader, right?
Yeah, like Vader. Vader, he got his Wolfpack, and he just stuck his head in the box and he started pulling out the items one by one. Hockey themed, by the way, when I received my shipment for the month of March. So CampbellWolfpacks.ca. Remember, woof, 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 woof.
Yes, wolfpacks.ca, proud partner here on the Post Game Pints podcast. Okay, Mitch, so I need to know what you think about, I have 3 things I'd like to merge. Sometimes it's just an idea, and it's a concept from one league to another. Okay.
All right, let's go. I'm going to hate all 3. Let's go.
No, I don't think you will. I don't think you will. Number 1, NHL and the English Premier League in soccer. The NHL has 32 teams starting next year with Seattle. English Premier League, you have the Premier Division, the Championship Division, the Second Division. And what happens is if you are at the bottom of the Premier Division, you get relegated. But if you're at the top, you get pushed up to the top division. And I know that these are concepts that would never work, but how good would it be if the NHL was divided into 3 leagues where you only had the best of the best play each other in the Premier, and then the second is called the Championship, and then the third is the Second Division. So everybody feels good about whatever championship they have. And then if you are in the top 3 or 4, you get to switch divisions next year. New opponents, new challenges, and you're always against the best. And that means if you're in the bottom division, you have something to strive for. Even if you're in the Second Division, you want to get into that championship and then jump over again. And with the parity in the NHL, like I was looking at this, Mitch, last year, Boston, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, Colorado, Washington, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Vegas, Edmonton, Dallas, Carolina, Toronto. That would have been your Premier Division. I put because there's 32 teams, I put 12 in the first and 10 and 10. How good would that be if those teams only played each other? And then you have your next division would be trying to get in. I don't know. It's just a concept of merging that I like. I know you probably hate it, and I know it would never happen, but I've been thinking about this for years, Mitch.
I'm not a huge fan. Actually, I shouldn't say I'm not a huge fan. I really dislike European sports.
Okay.
I find them way too hard to follow because of what you're talking about. But don't hate your idea. It wasn't awful. I was expecting worse on the first one.
Okay, so I'm just trying to merge ideas and concepts. I'm not asking soccer players to play hockey. We saw what happened when you get a football manager behind a bench. He gets fired. Bye-bye, Ralph Kruger. All right, my second concept. I'm going to the sport you love in baseball and a sport I love in curling. They both have ends, right? In curling, kind of have ends. And then in curling, you have whoever throws the last rock is called the hammer. How do you get the hammer? Is when the other team scores in the previous inning. Or in curling, it's an end. And then in baseball, it's an inning. instead of the home team always batting last, why don't you have the hammer in baseball? So in the first inning, the home team will have the hammer, whereas they have the bottom. But let's just say the visiting team doesn't score and the home team scores. That means the second inning, the home team will bat first. So sometimes you bat 2 times in a row. And that means you're going to have more walk-offs because the trailing team of that inning will be at the bottom. So you would be swapping top and bottom throughout the game, depending on who scores. I know you hate it, but think about it.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. I absolutely hate it. Like, despise it. Might be one of the worst things you've ever come up with.
Why?
Because you're changing baseball.
I know I'm changing baseball, but it's still the same game. It's just the different order of who hits.
It's
you can
not
still
the
be
home
up
team.
6.
The home team bats last.
Yes, I know. To start, and they'll bat last if they don't score any runs.
Go to number 3. That's brutal.
No, I like this one. Again, it's merging 2 sports.
What's the word you used before? Oh, idiocy. Oh yeah. Okay. let's hear number 3.
All right. My last one. Okay. It's more of a venue merging with a sport. Okay. Now, we both live in Montreal, and there's a venue in Montreal that just sits there and does nothing except cost money. Right? There's a reason why there's no baseball team here.
Yeah, what it cost us last time they had to do repairs? $750 million.
Exactly. So you need something to bring in money, right?
Yeah.
Now, what is some of the worst baseball stadiums in North America? What's another one that's being used
right now?
Yeah,
I'd have to think about them. Most of them seem to be relatively new.
How about the one that
Toronto's pretty dated right now?
Yeah. How about the one that's
Oakland? Oakland is pretty dated. Oh, Tampa Bay's. I've been there. That's a real bad one too.
Perfect. Tampa Bay. That's where I was trying to get you to go. Tampa Bay. How is Tampa Bay trying to make money right now?
By playing games in Montreal.
Yeah, but what are they also doing in Tampa Bay? What are they doing with Tropicana Field? It's the Thunderdome for WWE.
Oh, I didn't even know that's where they had the WWE.
That's where they have. That's where, with no fans, that's where it is. It's at Tropicana Field. They went to Tropicana Field. They're leasing it. They're paying money to build this crazy Thunderdome where all the fans are on screens. Bring the Thunderdome to the Big O. Bring the Thunderdome to the Big O. So now you're not just stuck in Florida with wrestling. Wrestling's a worldwide. You'll be able to have Canadian content at the Big O. Get them, the WWE or AEW or whoever you want. New Japan Wrestling. Get them to come and use your facility. Say, hey, set up shop, man. It's yours. It's yours. Pay us this much a month. It's yours. Go nuts. There's nothing else happening here. I'm just merging 2 ideas here, Mitch, and I know you can't hate that one like my curling baseball idea.
I'm very mad to it. Like, fine. I can't say I'm overly passionate about it. I can't say I hate it. I'm just trying to use the venue. It's an idea. Sure, you're using the venue. It's good. We'll have Monster Truck and then Thunderdome. Cool.
Yeah, at least there's something. At least there's something. It's just sitting there doing nothing. Those are my
make sure a piece of the roof doesn't fall on a wrestler's head. I think it's part of the show when it's not.
Yeah, it'd be the storyline.
Yeah.
All right, so rank my 3 ideas in order. The ones that you like, the ones you hate.
The 3 ideas in order. Okay, I'll go with the last one first, the first one second, and the baseball one third.
Okay, so you did like the Thunderdome idea. Okay.
That was the least offensive.
Because it wasn't merging 2 sports. It was just merging a venue with a sport that's not really a sport anyway.
I don't care what they're doing at the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah, I'm just saying you do when you have to pay the taxes.
Well, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think about that when I look at my paycheck. I'm like, they taxed me what? Where's that money going to?
It's straight to the Big O.
Right to the Big O. Yeah.
It just goes into a pit just accumulating.
It feels that way.
Yeah, it's the money that actually protects you when the building falls apart. All right. I'm sorry I did that together. I was having some fun with that one. I'd like to see your collaborations for sports. I think you need to come up with a few, Mitch.
Who, me or the collective you?
No, you do. But also, if anybody else has one, please comment below, like, subscribe, tweet at me at Sean R. Campbell, at Mitch Y. Gallo. It's the Postgame Pints podcast. Also, we have our Cunningham's Pub Pop Quiz, Mitch Gallo.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I was born ready.
Were you born ready?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the option. There's 3 possible answers you can go here. Okay. So I'm going to ask you about the President's Trophy in the National Hockey League. It started in 1986 and awarded to the team that finished first place in the standings. They won the President's Trophy. I know everybody's like, it's the Stanley Cup. No. The regular season they got, and it started in 1986. And since then, it's been handed out every year. So I want you to tell me, there's 3 things you can tell me. You can tell me the 10 teams that have won it more than once. You can tell me the 8 teams that's only won it once. Or you can go for the 13 teams, if my math is correct, that have never won it. Which category do you want to go for? The teams that have won it multiple times, the teams that have only won it once, or the teams that have never won the President's Trophy? Which category would you like to go for? You get to choose. Here on the Cunningham's Pub Quiz. By the way, they're selling their sauces now, and I love that they called their new sauce the for Halle Berry, the Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So it's really good, by the way. The sauce and the concept.
Well, what happens if I get a wrong answer?
Well, because I know you could just name teams. I'll
I can
probably
just
let
start
you have,
naming teams and be like, nope.
Yeah. Well, let me give you have 3 wrong answers per category.
Okay.
So
I'll go with the 10 teams who have won it more than once.
The 10 teams that have won it more than once, you're allowed 3 wrong answers. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Go ahead.
I'll say Detroit.
Detroit, the number 1 team. They've done it 6 times. Very good. 6 times. That's impressive, by the way.
I'll say Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, first wrong answer. First wrong answer.
I'll say Washington.
Washington. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Second correct answer. I wrote on my paper.
Answer.
Yeah. I was looking for it. I was like, where's Washington? Every single team, I wrote the city, except there I wrote Cap. I don't know why. 3 times. 3 times they did it.
I'll say Colorado.
Colorado's done it twice. Very good.
I will say Dallas.
Dallas has done it twice. Very good. So far, so good. 4 correct answers, 1 wrong answer. You're allowed 3 wrong answers.
I will say New Jersey.
New Jersey is incorrect. That is 2 wrong answers. And you have 4 out of a possible 10. You're not allowed any more wrong answers. Would you like to phone?
You said I'm allowed 3.
You're allowed 3. So yeah, you guess you can have 2 more.
I can have 1 more wrong answer. Yeah.
You can phone a friend too if you want.
I'll phone my friend when I'm on my last life.
Okay, no problem.
I feel like this is like Mario.
All right, no problem.
I got 1 life left.
You are allowed 3 wrong answers. You are correct.
Okay. What'd you say? 86?
86. You have 2 teams that have 3 and 4 teams that have 2 remaining. You've gotten 1-6, 1-3, and 2 2s. Colorado and Dallas were both 2-time President Trophy winners.
I'll tell you, pretty shocking that that Pittsburgh hadn't won it more than once. I find that very, very surprising.
Wow.
Very surprising.
You still got the answer wrong.
No, I got the answer wrong. I realized that. I will go with San Jose.
San Jose, incorrect. San Jose has only done it once. Same thing with Pittsburgh. It's only done it once.
All right.
New Jersey's never won it, by the way.
Craziness.
So now you're down to three.
I'll phone a friend.
You're going to phone a friend?
Yes.
All right. So you're going to phone a friend here on the Post Game Pints podcast. And that means you're going to be checking in with our good friend, Dave. Dave Trentadui.
Hey,
My friend EOS webcam.
how are you guys?
Good. It's a phone. You're not allowed to see him. It's not a video conference.
It's phone a friend.
Yeah, it's phone. All right, Dave, you got any help for him on this one?
Okay, this is a tough category. I have one guess. I think they did it back to back, if I recall, like when I was in high school. Vancouver.
Well, you got a Gallo. Are you going to use his guess?
Dave, how confident are you in this guess?
Man.
I hate losing at anything and everything.
Okay,
and we've only got 40% of the answers right now.
My other guess would be Boston, because I know they did it recently, and I know they probably did it maybe not though, in the early 90s. I don't know.
It's possible they went to the Cup final in the early 90s. They lost to Edmonton.
Dave's a smart guy. We'll see if you tell me if you want to go with it.
I like the Boston answer better than Vancouver. Let's go with Boston.
Boston's done it 3 times.
Oh, sweet.
Boston's done it 3 times. So is Vancouver a guess or no?
Do you have any other guesses, Dave? I'm not loving Vancouver.
I mean, when was the President's Trophy, you said?
Since 1986.
What about Edmonton? Like the Gretzky years?
No, Gretzky was gone. Canadians won the Cup in 86.
So Detroit at 6, you got. Capitals at 3, you got. Boston, thanks to Dave, you got Colorado at 2 and Dallas at 2. Your incorrect answer is Pittsburgh and San Jose with 1, and an incorrect answer of New Jersey with 0. You have no wrong answers left. Dave has suggested Vancouver and Edmonton. And Gallo, I need some answers from you here on the Cunningham's Pub Pop Quiz, where you are trying to guess the 10 teams that have won the President's Trophy twice. President's Trophy twice. I'll say that properly.
All right, Dave, let's try to figure out if there's any other options between Vancouver and Edmonton. I also jotted down Tampa Bay. I think that's a possibility.
That's exactly what I was going to say, right? Because
the only thing with them is I don't know if they did it in 2004 when they won the Cup. I know they did it last year, and I feel like they did it the year before. I don't know if they were back-to-back winners.
Yeah.
I like the Tampa Bay answer. I think they've been good for quite some time.
Is that your official answer?
Well, no. How confident do you feel about Vancouver, Dave?
As I said, Vancouver's the one I'm least confident on. Actually, no. Yeah, I don't know about Vancouver, to be honest. So maybe Tampa. Tampa would make sense.
All right, let's go with Tampa.
Okay, let's go with Tampa.
Well, what were you gonna say there?
Even Edmonton. I mean, I don't know. In the 80s, weren't they crazy?
Yeah, but that was the early 80s.
Yeah.
You still need 5 answers.
How is there so many teams?
What's your answer?
I'm gonna go with Tampa.
And Tampa Bay is
No.
only 1 time for Tampa Bay, and that means Mitch, you only got 5 out of the 10. That is a failing grade, my friend. Maybe you should have went with another category. You did get 3 of them with only 1, which would have been the hardest category, I believe, the one with 1. So you got Detroit, Washington, Boston, Colorado, and Dallas. You're missing the New York Rangers, who's done it 3 times. And you're missing Vancouver twice.
Nice.
Edmonton twice.
Damn it.
Calgary twice. Chicago twice.
Chicago.
Those are the ones that you missed. And it's just because I was looking at this, you only named
Calgary
one team
makes sense. They're really good in the late 80s.
They were Edmonton. You were right. Right away, I believe they won the first two in 86 and 87, by the way, with the Edmonton. Vancouver, very good. They won it a couple times. Chicago, you guys should have got. And New York Rangers, you couldn't. They were able to pull it off a couple times.
I would never come up with the Rangers, by the way.
Yeah. But it just, I thought maybe it would have been easier to go for the teams that have never won it. Anyways, that's just what I thought. Teams that have never won the President's Trophy: Anaheim, Arizona, Columbus, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Florida, Carolina, Islanders, New Jersey, Vegas, Winnipeg, Toronto, and Montreal.
Nice.
So Mitch, I don't think that's a victory. I don't think
that's not getting half is not a victory.
By the way, that was Mitch got to choose that category anyways. So that's it for us on the Post Game Pints podcast. Don't forget, send all your fan art to Sean R. Campbell and Mitch Y. Gallo. We love fan art. I really appreciated whoever made that. It was really great. Thank you.
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
Awesome!
No.
Come on.
VBF.